Now, the Royal College of Midwives annual conference opens today, and being discussed is whether or not women should be giving birth at home. Well, here with me this morning, Sam Harris, who had both her children at home, and journalist Liz Fraser, who gave birth to all of her 3 children in hospital and thinks that home births are reckless and selfish. Well, what do we think, reckless and selfish? Why did you decide to have a home birth yourself?
I had a home birth for both of my children, and I didn't see any reason why I had to go to hospital or why there was any need to go to hospital. I had a very low risk pregnancy, no complications at all. There were a couple of complications with the first birth, but nothing that the midwife who was there couldn't deal with, and so we went through it again the second time round, and I would do it again if I were to have any more children.
But why was it so important for you to be at home and not in hospital?
I didn't see the need to go to hospital. I mean, we did a hospital tour. I looked around, it seemed very clinical. There were quite a few emergencies going on. The staff were obviously dealing with those, and people in situations with low risk pregnancies were kind of left to their own devices. And I thought, well, I'd rather be left to my own devices in my own home rather than left to my own devices in a hospital. And I just knew that I would be more comfortable in my own environment.
Right, yeah. So more comfortable and fine and everything was okay. So where's the problem then?
Well, one of the most difficult things about this discussion is that it's so emotional, it's so personal, so people find it extremely difficult actually to separate their emotions from the realities. And you say a hospital is more clinical. Of course it's more clinical. That's what it's there for primarily. And so the argument of I see no need to go to hospital, there is no need to go to hospital until there's a need to go to hospital. And when there is a need to be in hospital midway through labour, as happened to me in 2 of my 3 labours, and the lady who did my makeup and people I've been talking to in the green room, at that point you need to be in hospital. You do not need to be in a car stuck in traffic. You do not need to be waiting for the ambulance to come when the umbilical cord is killing your baby mid-delivery. And for every woman that you talk to who has a wonderful home birth, you will also talk to a woman who's had a terrible home birth or a wonderful hospital delivery. And that's the problem with this whole discussion, is that, you know, each person's stories are so different. But my goodness, when it goes wrong, it goes so wrong. And by the way, the thing about low risk, I was in the lowest risk category, okay? I was 23 years old, fit as anything, no health complications of any kind. And we're talking about actually quite a risky process, you know. And you can say women have been giving birth under bushes for thousands of years. Yes, and millions of babies have been dying under bushes for thousands of years. So why not go to a place where all the medical thing is there if you were to need it? And by the way, when you're having a home birth, when things go wrong, if it's something that the midwives can't deal with, you then call the ambulance, you call the paramedic. You're taking that ambulance and that paramedic away from somebody else who might have needed it, you know, on a road accident, a bike collision, something like that. That paramedic now can't be used, whereas had you been in hospital, which is more clinical and it's not pleasant, but by the way, it's not about me, it's about the baby.
So what would you say, Sam, then? Did any of these things resonate, or were you worried about it at all?
The paramedics were called actually to my first delivery. When I gave birth, there were 3 paramedics in the hallway and 2 midwives in the bathroom, and my husband standing in the bath watching it and all. And it was all
paramedics called. Sorry,
because the final stage of labour, the pushing just lasted a long time. I mean, the thing I would say about the paramedics was, if I was in a hospital situation, I would have been rushed into theatre. That would have taken far more staff than 3 paramedics coming. They were there within seconds. Any midwife worth her salt will spot a problem coming way before the issue actually becomes very serious. There were potential complications with both births, but the midwives dealt with them all.
In an ideal world, that would be the way, you know, or you would have the choice in an ideal world. I'm really sorry we're going to have to leave it there because it's absolutely fascinating, and thank you indeed for all your comments. But you know, it would be brilliant if we all were able to have our choice. Because I know
hospitals were nicer. I think also if you could have the home sort of feel in a hospital, wouldn't that be just the best? Absolutely. And hospitals are getting much better. Maternity units are much better than these.
Thank you both.
You're welcome.
So let us know what you think. Have you had a home birth? What was your experience? If not, would you ever consider giving birth?